Thanks so much for joining us. My guest is Evelyn Isaia. Thank you so much for being here from the Ratatouille and Company catering business, where you're changing lives. Now, you came out of corporate and you're doing something different. How much time did you spend in corporate, and why did you make the change to help other people?
Oh, well, I had a corporate life for over 33 years. I was a wealth manager with Merrill Lynch, first in Switzerland and then in Miami and then in New York. And it was a great ride. I loved what I was doing. I really did. I was very dedicated. I loved my clients and I loved what I was doing. I loved the markets. But at some point...
2008, maybe?
No, 2008, that was rough, but I plodded on and I kept going. But I would tell you, when regulations started to become very, very heavy and there were radical changes coming about, I would say the writing was on the wall, that the whole business model was changing, and robo-investing in ETFs, and I would say that the cost of doing business and commission structure and all these things. The writing was on the wall. It was not the same anymore, and big changes were coming, which is true. And so I thought, if I'm not enjoying this anymore. And I thought, if I'm not enjoying this and I'm feeling this way, my clients are going to start to feel this way as well. So it was time for a change. Merrill Lynch had a very interesting retirement package. And I said, this is too good to be true.
I'm going to seize this.
I'm seizing the day. And I was lucky that I had a protracted retirement. In other words, over a 2-year period, I could slowly pull back and make sure that my clients would transition to the other members of the team. And then it afforded me a lot of time to see what I wanted to do next.
How did you come up with this brand new company 2 years ago? How did this come together?
I wasn't ready for gardening and golf.
Although those are
great pastimes. I'm not knocking it, but it wasn't for me. I wanted to continue working on my next chapter, but I wanted it to be something around, initially I thought a nonprofit, but something to empower women. I thought originally remaining in finance and financial services, or something that combined women and cooking and hospitality in general. That's what I thought I wanted to do.
Are you a chef with a background of chef?
I love to cook, but I'm not a chef. I've been to the Ritz cooking school, and I've been to another cooking school on Rue Tatin in Paris, but I'm not a professional chef. But I like to cook, and I like parties, and I like to organize. And my business skills definitely came in very handy here. So I thought I should go down the nonprofit road. But the first thing I knew was I knew nothing about nonprofits. And so I had read about the Encore program at UConn. And so I called them up, applied, and got in their program. And it taught me a lot about nonprofits, specifically in Connecticut, in Fairfield County. And I thought, this was something interesting. I wasn't sure if the nonprofit road was for me. I did a fellowship with a wonderful organization called WBDC, the Women's Business Development Council.
Which they're great.
They're a fantastic organization in Stamford. And at the end of my fellowship with the program at UConn, you had to do a fellowship, and my fellowship was with WBDC. And they had a project for me, and their project was to raise money very quickly. And I said, well, I'm going to do a gala dinner for you. We're going to do a 5-course tasting menu. We're going to generate money through ticket sales and through an auction. And they said, all right, if you want to take this project over and you want to run with it, go forth and do it.
So is that where the germ of the idea came, that you were going to help women who needed help become chefs?
Well, first I wanted to see how good I was at this, at organizing. So I did this dinner for WBDC with a friend of mine as the chef. I did all the organization, and my friend who is a chef in New York City. She has 2 restaurants, and she did all the cooking. And we saw that together. This worked. This was definitely a model that worked. And then I thought, all right, I'm going to go forward with this idea, but I didn't know, do we do a cafe, do we do a restaurant, what do we do here? And so I sought out the help of, I said, I'm going to get myself a mentor, and I'm going to talk to women who are trailblazers, who have already been there, done that, and I'm going to seek advice from them and see what they say. So I reached out to Jessamine Rodriguez at Hot Bread Kitchen in New York, And I also reached out to Carrie Wheaton, who to this day is a mentor of mine. I check in with her every 3 months, and she's at Billings Forge in Hartford. And so I picked their brains. I sat down for lunch with both of these women. I picked their brains a little bit, and I said, if you were to give me some advice, what would you tell me? And if you were in my shoes, what would you do? And this helped me formulate, you know, going forward what I wanted to do. And so Carrie helped me a lot, and she said, well, you know, everything you're saying, all these ideas that you're throwing out at me, it's clear to me you should really do a catering company. You have a low risk.
And you thought what about that? Because that's a lot of work.
I thought, no, I said, you know what? I think the catering company makes a lot of sense because I'm not going to have that much initial investment. The risk isn't too great. But then it was how the women that I really want to help, these are women that are refugees and immigrants. So I thought, well, this will be a different business model for me. I'm going to do a for-profit business here. But what I want to do is I want to join forces with the nonprofits that specifically cater to women, immigrants, and refugees, and who has these programs. So I reached out to Building One Community in Stamford, which is an immigrant resource center, which mostly caters to people from, I would say, Latin America and the Caribbean, and to CIRI, which is the Connecticut Institute for Refugees and Immigrants in Bridgeport, which tends to, I would say they have more African and Middle Eastern base, mostly.
Did you ever in your wildest imagination think you would be doing what you're doing? Being a mentor and helping women?
Being a mentor, yes, because I've done that also when I had my career at Merrill Lynch. I did help a lot of women and organize some women's groups where we could exchange ideas, basically because we were a minority within the company, and I thought this would be very good for the women with a lot more experience to have lunch on a regular basis with the younger women that are just starting, and so we could share ideas and we could talk about experiences that we're having if we were dealing with any difficult clients, you know, what words of advice could we give, et
How'd you
cetera,
come up with the name, Ratatouille and Company?
It's not my doing, it's my sister's.
And so how did that
So I was in Denver having lunch with my sister, and we were, I said, I was throwing out names, a North Star and path to this and that. And I said, everything sounds so cheesy and corny, and it's been there, done that. And I want something that's short and sweet and French and has to do with cooking. So we went back and forth with terms, and my sister said, look, I got it, it's Ratatouille. I said,
Just like that?
Just like that. She said, I said, Ratatouille, that's whimsical, I like it. And I came back, checked with our attorney, and she said, as long as you're, you know, you're good to go, as long as you're not doing any toys, stuffed toys or something like this. So we registered the name, and we were off and running.
And your LLC? And
We're an LLC, that's correct.
before you go any further, let's take a look at what you are doing for other women.
Mi vida en Honduras es, como la mayoría de las mujeres, muy dura, muy fuerte para llevarla. Llegué al punto donde dije, ya no puedo más. Uno de los momentos más difíciles fue cuando el papá de mi hija estuvo tratando de asfixiarme y enfrente de mis hijos.
So we met Tatiana in the spring of 2017 through Building One Community in Stamford. Our story was very heartbreaking to me to hear about somebody who just wanted to make a better life for herself and her children, who was willing to risk everything to come to this country in search of a better life and more opportunities.
She is friendly. Her smile can light up an entire room. She's amazing as a human being. As a chef, she has come in an incredible way.
Ratatouille ha sido como mi escuela y mi universidad en todo lo que corresponde al área de la comida, de la cocina, de la culinaria. En Ratatouille aprendí desde cómo servir un plato, de qué forma poder colocar la mesa y la presentación, porque obviamente Ratatouille se enfoca bastante en lo que es la presentación y eso me ha ayudado mucho, bastante.
It's important for our clients and supporters to see how Tatiana has overcome her hardships and is on a path to realize her dreams.
So when you look at that, What does that mean to you? You're changing lives for women who have come to this country who are trying to get a leg up.
It means the world to me. I think this is the greatest joy. I mean, of course, I like to see our business grow. Our sales are really off the charts. We're doing extremely well. But when I see that the women are getting increased self-confidence, they're feeling better about themselves, they're seeing that their skill set is improved, they're making more money, they're constantly in demand, the repertoire is growing, they're involved, there's this great teamwork. They're feeling so much better about themselves. Some of them want to go off and run.
I was just going to ask you that. You're 2 years old. They may
only
go
2
off
years
and
old.
Own their
well,
own
yes.
business.
Some of our women we have placed in other restaurants, and what happens is we do ask that when we need them, if they could get some time off and work with us. And up until now, it's worked out for us.
So this is a sophisticated catering business.
That's correct.
Who are your clients? Are they weddings? Are they dinner parties?
We have weddings, we have dinner parties, we have cocktail parties. We do a lot in New York City. We do in homes in Greenwich, in Westport, in Darien. We've done some corporate events. We're a little bit all over the place. It's really been it's been a dream come true, Anne.
And how did you train these gals?
Well, my business partner, Kathy Brower, who's the chef de cuisine, she does all the cooking, and we'll get them. Well, first of all, those who come to us with good cooking skills as is, and they have some of their own recipes from their countries, we will go through a tasting with them, and we'll look at some of the items and decide if this is something workable for us. If we don't like the presentation, we'll work it in tasting spoons, or in lettuce leaves, or in seaweed cones, or in waffle baskets, or on inside slider buns, or you have to decide how it works. What's the best presentation, and how do we present it? Do we present it on a beaded plate, or should we put it on a glass plate, or do we put lavender sprigs on it, or rosemary bunches? And what is the most appealing way to do it? And there are other foods that just don't make the cut.
What countries have you helped women from so far? Where are they coming from?
Syria, Eritrea, Haiti, a lot from Honduras, Guatemala, Colombia, Salvador.
And as these women get help, are they spreading the news to other
Yes,
friends?
yes.
So how is that network going?
Well, what happens is, it just happened twice this week, where one of our team members came to me and she said, oh, I have a friend who really, really wants to work with you. And I met her the other day in Bridgeport, and next week she's coming for a training. And then I just trained somebody yesterday from Haiti. And we work with a very lovely lady in New York City from that we met through the IRC, and from Nigeria, and she's also bringing some people. I forgot to mention the IRC. That's another one of our partners.
Do you envision this a template for other people to mimic across the country?
Well, my husband, who is just an incredible support and a great help, and a real backbone, and he gives me so much inspiration and help. He thinks this is a model that should be replicated. Maybe. I don't feel I'm ready for that yet. I still want to refine what we're doing and grow bigger, and that time may come.
And where's your facility where
Right
you're
now,
making all of this?
We're working at a Bridgeport.
And what do the women say to you after they've done an event, or you know, their self-esteem is building? What stories are you hearing from them? Because they've come from some awful places.
Well, they're feeling a lot better about their skill set, and they're feeling more confident. A lot of them really couldn't speak up for themselves, and this was something that was bothering me. I felt it was important that they should see that inside them, they really had something special, and this needed to come out. And I see it time and time again, where a lot of these women, they're downtrodden, and they don't have the confidence they should have, and they need a mentor, somebody to tell them, you have that spark, you have it in you, and I'm going to help you bring that out, and you're going to succeed.
Where do you see this going in 5 years? I mean, you're just getting your feet wet now with 2 years.
5 years, I'd like to be able to sit back. I'd like to have this replicated in different places. I'd like to train some, I have my eye on 3 women right now that I think that could take over my position in terms of organization. And then hopefully for Kathy, we'll have some, there are 2 women right now who also could take over head chef roles, I think, within time. We're not there yet, but I hope that we could get there, and then ultimately let these women run the show.
How do people find you?
Word of
Hopefully
mouth.
many people will find you now, but
yeah, there you go.
But
word of mouth. I think they go to our website and they testimonials, and it really is word of mouth. And I would say we're also on the list of catering services for several of the nonprofits. I would have to say that Fairfield Community Foundation, Karen Brown has been an ardent support of ours. WBDC as well. IRC and some event places have put us on their preferred caterer list, so that has helped. And I'll say there are a couple of movie producers also that we worked with. They put out a good word for us.
Wow.
Yes.
Biggest pratfalls you found yourself in when you started this company?
Oh my God. It was keeping my confidence up a couple times.
Even after 30 years
yes,
in finance?
I would say, because in the beginning, when I would say, well, why aren't we busy every day? And then if we'd go through 3 or 4 weeks without hearing it from anybody, or no inquiries, or nothing on the website, and immediately I'd wake up in the morning and see if there were any inquiries or anything, I'd start to feel, I'd see that little person.
Pressure.
No, that little person that kind of creeps up here and says, like, you're such a fool, you're an idiot, you're a charlatan, you know, like, what do you
That's
think?
when you got to push past that.
And that's when no, just go ahead.
The best thing about this company is?
I would say our teamwork and our mentorship of other women who women that need a hand and that want to get ahead in the culinary world.
And the website is?
Ratatouille&Co.com.
The French spelling.
Yes.
Thanks to your sister. Evelyn, thank you so much for being on.
And thank you. I
and
appreciate the
telling us-
opportunity.
And telling us about your wonderful company and the help that you're giving so many women. Thanks.
Thank you.
Spend all night kissing and the bumper's right here, then who else is missing? Got a little sidetracked if I'm so wishing to find the keys to the door, but it's also a metaphor. Need to keep locked in the grocery store, but mine just to save time. I'll skip right ahead to the last ride.